Another month has passed, and you know what that means? Another Fun Game Friday has passed. If you don't know what Fun Game Friday is, first Friday of every month, I play a brand new game live on stream, and it's super fun. But if you miss it, or you're not a Twitch kind of person, I always edit it into a fun little YouTube video. The problem is, my recording got messed up. So you see right here where one of my chatters was like, "Oh, the mic sounds worse." I didn't believe them. I should have, but I didn't. If you notice, I have my VTuber model behind me. Try to ignore that. But that's not the point, is it? I'm sure you guys have all heard of this game at this point, Umama Sume. It is a horse girl gacha game made in Japan, and it's primarily a mobile game, hence the funky layout, but it recently, like just a couple of months ago, got ported onto Steam. And it caused huge waves, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing." And honestly, I kind of get it. I kind of do. There's something about this specific gacha game. When you hear gacha, a lot of people think of games like Genshin Impact is the big one, Honkai Star Rail, Wuthering Waves. You can already see that this isn't like those games because it's not an open world game, right? Maybe it's just because I'm not super deep into gacha games, but this felt like a whole different experience. I know at this point the game has kind of just been playing in the background and I've been talking over it. When you start this game, like most games, it takes you through a tutorial. It was a little long. It also didn't feel overbearing. It wasn't one of those tutorials where it held your hand through every single step, but it just explained the general concept really well. So you have the Imama Sume, which are the horse girl racers, and basically instead of racing horses, you race horse girls. They go to school and they like train to become professional racers and all of that. And the whole idea is you stick with one horse girl and you train her to get really, really good. And after you do that, the stats that you improved on one horse girl can be passed down through this effect right here, actually. It's called inspiration. So you kind of take two different horse girls and they basically have a baby, but not literally. They pass on like their wisdom and stuff to the horse girl you want to accompany. And then the craziest thing is it's turn-based. But I never thought a horse girl racing game would be turn-based. And it's not turn-based in the typical way, as you can probably tell already. But every action you decide to do with your Umama Sume takes up like a turn. And the turns are counting down until races. So the goal is to use your turns effectively enough to help your horse girl win the race, or at least get through to the next race, because not all of them you have to get first place in. I actually think it's only the later races that you have to get first in order to continue. A lot of them are like top 5 or top 3, stuff like that. I've just been kind of spitballing up until this point, so I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the first race I played in. I love how everyone else is in like a uniform, but then you get to your Umama Sume, and she's in like a cool ass outfit. I did have somebody tell me that that's a setting you can turn off, but personally, I really like it, especially when they're actively racing. They'll show you here in a sec. They all just get kind of right next to each other when they're racing. Obviously, it's a race. It's a race. I don't know where else they would be. Having my Umama Sume in her costume makes it really easy for me to pick her out of the crowd. But, you know, you can turn it off if you don't like that. Either way, this is kind of a quote-unquote small race, when they get to like really important races, they all wear their costumes. So right now, everyone except your Mamasume is wearing a uniform, but when it's big league races, you get to see everyone in their special costume. And it's so cool because from what I've gathered, every Mamasume you see in this race, you can obtain some way or another. I only played for a couple of hours, but that's my understanding so far. And it's really cool when you get to the big important races and you see every single Mamasume in their pretty outfits. Because, look, I don't care that much. I'm not a tryhard when it comes to a lot of things. When I'm playing video games, I just want the prettiest stuff. So seeing everybody in their costumes in a big race is so nice because then I can be like, that's my favorite outfit. I want to get that horse girl. Not important right now. This part was really cool. Another little quirk that this game has, your Umamasume can ult. They have an ultimate ability. So it's not even just, oh, get them stronger and faster and you'll win the race. They also have skills. So every single time you do something, every single time you finish a race, you get skill points in some way or another. It was also really funny here that I did so well and completed my career, and then you just see F rank. Like, I got ranked F, but I did really good. I don't know if it was actually really good, but I did good. I beat the race and everything. So that was funny. But that rating goes up gradually. How I mentioned earlier, how you take two Umamasume and combine them with inspiration, that improves stats. Anyways, they're also a J-pop group. So after every race, they do a performance. It's just so cool. There's just so many little things that make this not feel like just a copy and paste. I like gacha games, and I love having multiple games that I want to play. So I'm always one when people are like, oh, hype, there's this new game out. I'm always one to just give it a try at the very least. A lot of the times, though, I don't stick to those games because I feel too much of a copy and paste of other games. If you haven't noticed already, this is not, at least to the Western audience. I can't speak for like Southeast Asian audience, but in the Western audience, this is very unique. It's not a copy and paste of anything. I'm getting kind of this advertisement of all the new horse girls that you can pull for on the banners. So obviously my first instinct is to go and pull. Every time you freshly start a gacha game, you always get so much free stuff, including all the free pulls. So if I'm only playing this game for 3 hours, because I had no idea if I was going to keep playing this game. So if I'm playing this game for the first time, and I'm trying to experience as much of it as possible, I am going all in. This lasted a while, I'm not gonna lie. And this horse girl, I was like, that's the poster child. Maybe I'm being dramatic, but I was very familiar with that face. I did a lot of pulls though. I didn't do the math. I didn't even count when I was editing this. I'm sorry, I really should have. But I also don't know how the pity system works, so I don't know if counting would have been helpful. But I did a lot. I tried to show you everything that was cool, including that. When you get the highest tier horse girl, it turns the gate from gold to rainbow. I like the dramatic effect. I'm just obsessed with this kind of pull animation because there's variety. There's variety and it's pretty and it changes up. Like you just saw the one again where it changes to rainbow. It's cool. I got one of the featured characters. I think this support card that I pull Oh, it is SSR. It is SSR. It's the highest rank. But I think that was one of the support cards that was featured when I went back to the home screen. And I got her. I got the grass one. I got the support card. This one isn't a featured SSR. I think this horse girl would be considered one of the, like, quote-unquote standard banner Umamasume. But again, I have no idea how the system works. I was just pulling and riding the burst of serotonin. That is all I was doing. But I wanted to play more, so I started another career. But of course, I just pulled a lot, so I wanted to do a career with one of the new horse girls that I got. So I started off with this wrestling horse girl. She's so funny. At the beginning, when you meet her, she literally said, "Oh, I wear this mask so nobody knows my identity." You see that mask? It could cover maybe like her nose structure. And something else I noticed, there are different songs that they perform. I only showed a really short clip because I don't know what can get copyrighted. But there are different songs that they perform at different times for winning like different races and stuff. You know what's sad though? I lost a race. But you do get to redo sometimes. So I redid it and then I won. Anyways, afterwards, when I was in that career, somebody was like, "Oh, you should level up your cards." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even think about that." So I did that. And then of course I had to go back to gambling again. I had to go back and pull. And I got Rice Shower. I personally was not gunning for Rice Shower, but she's a really popular Umamasume, and she's pretty, so I'm not mad. I will say, I am mad about one thing. There was one horse girl. Something Top Gun. I'll try to find a picture and throw her on the screen, but I wanted her so bad because I saw this cute ass outfit that she had. But guess what? You have to get multiple copies of her to get that outfit. Like, are you kidding me? Here's her default outfit, and then here's her upgraded outfit. Again, not the point, not the point. I am training with the new, like, plant mage Umamasume that I got. I'm so sorry for the descriptions. I'm horrible with names. I don't care if the recording is literally right in front of my face right now. I'm bad with it. So I ended up training her again. The turns after the tutorial were a lot longer. So I started to understand why at the bottom middle of the screen, there's a skip button. And it's less of a skip button and more of a fast forward button. And there's different levels to how much you can fast forward. I realized getting out of the tutorial why they had that button there. Because, oh my gosh, first of all, cutscenes replay. There are certain cutscenes that you see every career. So at the very beginning, the headmistress of the school or whatnot announced that she was going to create a new race to keep her horse girls motivated. You see that cutscene every single career playthrough. So I understood so fast why they added that skip button at the bottom. I ended up using it a lot. I didn't use it my very first playthrough, and I probably only used it for half of my second playthrough. But yeah, it was so helpful. And here's the skill page that I was talking about earlier. So there are different extra abilities or extra advantages you can give your horse girl by leveling up certain abilities. I guess a skill page is kind of self-explanatory if you play video games. I'm recording this the night before, and it's been a long day. But regardless, isn't this horse girl so cute? Look at her. I don't know what I'm doing in the corner, so we're just gonna skip this part, actually. Oh, wait, no, we're not gonna skip this. It's the end of the video. Guys, I'm so bad at this. I'm bad at YouTube, so if you don't want to subscribe, I understand. But you should, because it's a bunch of chaotic content like this, and it's really fun. But if you want to hear me stumble over my words and lose my marbles live, I stream every week, multiple times a week, at twitch.tv/bobagun. And you can get a first-hand view of Fun Game Fridays if you hop on over to the Twitch channel. But again, if you don't want to do that, that's fine, because I always make it into a YouTube video. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time. Bye!